Hallo zusammen, das ist das Tagebuch von Ensemble Proton in Amerika. Wir sind gestern angekommen heute ist die erste Probe und wir warten gerade auf unsere Kollegen, aber man kann es sehen, hier ist der Frühling voll im Gange. Gell, Tino?
Ja, es ist warm, nichts von Schnee. Den haben wir in Bern zurückgelassen.
Genau, in grossem Stil.
Ja.
Heute werden wir mit den 6 Komponistinnen und Komponisten von Stanford arbeiten. Sie haben neue Werke für Ensemble Proton geschrieben und die werden wir am 10. in einem Konzert spielen, urführen sogar, und am 11. im Studio aufnehmen. Also es wird sehr eine spannende Woche.
Da hat man, irgendwo habe ich gesagt, bis zu B transformieren.
Also die linke Hand ist ja klar. Das ist ja nur die Bewegung des Bogens.
Des Bogens und dann glissando bis auf.
Aber hier das AC, das sind Ton. Nein, das da.
Das hat sich verschoben, verzeihen, das hat sich verschoben, das heißt, das sollte hier stehen. Ich habe angezeichnet, welche Töne spielen und dann habe ich die Position gezeigt.
Also
Should we try the same spot again? Or we could go even further?
We could go from the first flash, maybe.
I do have some in the truck, they're mine.
Yummy.
Berries. Sometimes I'll do a lobotomy on the Jan-Filip. Just put a quarter-inch in there.
So gut.
No.
So, Julie, how was your flight?
Good, long, but good.
How many stops did you have?
2, one in Stockholm and one in Chicago.
Oh no, that's terrible. Hey everybody, this is Utku, one of the composers we're working with at Stanford University, and we've just finished rehearsing his piece Facade today before we go to lunch. Utku, can you tell me why is the piece called Facade?
It's just my personal problem with this century, and the facade has another meaning rather than the face. It's just like it describes somehow superficiality, the surface. So I just try to describe that deterioration in the century that I am personally observing, and I try to personally also react that deterioration, that it's each day people are knowledgeable, quality, everything is decreasing. So this is kind of my personal reaction, those kind of deterioration. So that is why I call the piece Facade.
Okay.
No, it's totally fine.
So this will be loud,
Yeah.
and then after the fermata it
Yeah.
will be in this.
Yeah, it's like it's going to diminuendo, you know.
It makes sense.
Dal niente, al niente. So, but yeah, it just.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Is this your first time writing for instruments like the contraforte?
Contraforte, lupophone, and the piece especially is composed for the ensemble Proton, Bern, and of course the contraforte and lupophone, and then also of course keyboard. Also, I'm using also the first time, so I just took many risks with this piece, and right now I think I had a wonderful rehearsal with you guys, and yeah, it was very nice experience because I also, as a composer, I think I have felt like I experience and I follow different directions. So.
And Proton is eating again.
Haben wir auch andere Videos außer Essvideos? Oder haben wir nur die Videos? Greatest by Chris.
Oh, you missed the speech of the day.
This is day 4 of the Ensemble Proton West Coast tour. Oh, let's try that again. This is day 4 of Ensemble Proton in America on the West Coast. We're riding to the university at the moment. Matthias and Martin are somewhere behind me. I tried to do this before, but a car beeped at me.
Okay, let's keep it like that. Yeah.
So this, the softest sound is this way.
Okay, then let's keep it like that.
Here we are at the Elliott Program Center at Stanford University, and we've just finished the rehearsal of Andrew Watt's Adhocracies, written for Ensemble Proton. Andrew, I was interested in knowing what's behind the title.
Adhocracies is a term that I stumbled across a few months ago after looking through various Wikipedia articles. I often find titles through going different hyperlinks in Wikipedia articles. And it was a term coined, I believe, in the 1960s to describe ways of organizing groups or societies based on the inherent abilities of a diverse group. Whatever unique characteristics an individual may have, that individual will kind of allocate themselves to certain tasks. It's a way of organizing that is non-hierarchical.
Okay.
And I found that to be a very interesting approach to then try to place in a musical context. So within Adhocracies, the piece, I have these different roles based on different notational schemes and different functions that are kind of coinciding at times, and at times they're at ends with each other.
Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, welcome to Molly Stone's Good Time Jamboree. And here's the master of ceremonies and star of our show, Mr. Good Choice.
how would you place adhocracies in your oeuvre now? Is this a sort of a standout piece? Is it a sort of a venture into something new? Or is it something you've been working on for some time, using these different identities with the ensemble?
This is the first time that I'm blending different notational practices that I've used in isolation in other pieces. So with this piece, I have a pitch band notation that I have for 3 of the instruments, and then I also have very detailed idiomatic writing for other instruments, like the clarinet. But this is the first instance where they're existing concurrently in the same piece.
Right, okay, cool. And following the Proton residency, what's going to be your next project?
I'm writing a piece for Ekamelis, for 6 voices with electronics that are playing into the mouths of the singers. And then after that, I have a festival in Greece.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks very much for your time, and
Thank you
very much for the great piece.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Herzlich willkommen zum 5. Tag von der Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast Tour. Heute rede ich ein bisschen auf Berndeutsch reden. Gestern war Englisch und heute haben wir sowieso die ganze Zeit Englisch. Proben laufen sehr gut auf Hochtouren und morgen ist das Konzert hier an der Stanford University und am Sonntag, also übermorgen, tun wir alle Stücke, die wir im Konzert spielen, im Studio aufnehmen. Das ist sehr wichtig für die PhD-Komponistinnen und Komponisten hier, damit sie ein gutes Tondokument für das Archiv und für die Dissertation zum Doktor werden. Am Montag geht es dann weiter auf Berkeley, wo wir ähnliche Residency werden machen, aber halt ein bisschen kürzer, also ungefähr halb so lang wie dort in Stanford. Heute haben wir ein paar Interviews organisiert und ich hoffe, dass ihr das Blog von Ensemble Proton interessant findet. Wenn ihr Vorschläge oder Wünsche habt, dann könnt ihr jederzeit einfach einen Kommentar hinterlassen. Dann tun wir gerne eure Wünsche erfüllen. Also, bis später. So, your piece is, for me, one of the standout pieces because it's so different from the rest.
Okay.
I was interested in knowing, what's your musical background?
Sure. Well, I come from more of a rock background. I played in bands when I was a kid. Improvise, kind of play all the rock instruments and sing. And I guess I only later in life I came into interested in writing music for like more, I guess, contemporary classical settings, and got into computer music. And I just like to, it's hard for me to like separate genres, and my music just kind of seems to collide with all these different styles and genres, and I just that's just the music I write, you know. I don't know.
This is Davor Vince, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vince. And he's one of the composers we're working with at Stanford University, and also the guy who's pretty much put this residency together for us. So thank you very much, Davor.
No, thank you for coming all the way here.
It's a pleasure. So your piece tomorrow is the past of a distant future. Is that right?
Tomorrow is the past of some distant future.
Of some distant future. So whose distant future might that be?
I think it's our general, like, humanity's distant future, but it can also be applied to, like, it tells an individual storyline which is not really explicitly stated, and I'm also there with you as a performer, and it talks a lot about the fluidity between the present, past, and the future, which we tend to see very categorically, you know, and stuff that are new or old, and how it all then basically our history stuff repeats, and you know, something that was in is again out, and the other way around.
Okay. Ensemble Proton. Thanks for the piece, Julie.
Thanks for playing.
So, the piece is called I Can Take. What can I take? Or what can you take? Or who's taking what?
Well, I was thinking of it as taking a simple musical material and making it your own. So adapting it, thinking of how it relates to you, thinking about what you bring to it, and then stripping it down until it's just you and your voice with this little musical phrase. And so, in a way, it's about taking, but it's also about like being given a thing and having to figure out what to do with it.
Right. Okay. And I think because of this way, because of the way the piece behaves, it's made for a really interesting rehearsal process. Because I suppose we're used to playing really highly notated, highly defined and structured music. Where are you coming from with your very individual music language?
I guess I'm coming from my own experience of making music and the way that I think about taking something and adapting it and stretching it and compressing it, and then I know that it's not everybody thinks of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I have tried to give kind of parameters of ways to do this, but it's just comes from my personal way of this is how I deal with musical material and kind of asking you to do the same.
Right. And do you play instruments yourself?
Yeah, I play mostly electric bass, I sing, I play electric guitar, I play drums and like keyboard synthesized kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a one-man band.
Yeah, a little bit just for like producing music and just getting sounds that way.
Right. Okay.
So I play the piano in a duo and I sing, and so we do kind of structured improvisations where we compose forms for things and then have to introduce unexpected elements and improvisational elements, and it's kind of this medium ground between improvising, never doing the same thing twice, and having like a map into something and a plan, but being totally open to doing something different.
Okay. Right. And how have you managed this idea of things repeating or distorting through the musical material?
Well, in terms of musical material, there is a relatively clear outline in the sense that you're starting with those very refined, relatively soft, kind of a granular pitches, and then that sound mounts into a more kind of glued tremolo sound, and then it gets ever more denser and denser, and it kind of explodes towards the end of the piece. So there is that continuous development, but this is the first piece that I've composed backwards. Mm-hmm. So it's basically tells the narrative backwards. There was a certain impact or a drama or something that happened, and then the character is kind of getting appeased with it, but we are seeing it backwards.
Right. Are you actively doing anything particular to raise the profile of women in contemporary music?
Whenever I'm given the opportunity to curate something, I do try to prioritize voices I think might be marginalized. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a group that commissions work by women or anything like that. I do it on the DL.
Okay, right. All right, cool. So Max.
Hey Richie.
Just between you and me and our thousands of viewers, what's it like coming back to California with a group from Europe?
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful for me because I get to sort of show my friends from California and my family members what exactly I do in Europe. And I get to present that live through a variety of concerts and obviously this residency at Stanford. So for me, it's very special. It's very personal in a certain way.
Yep. Okay. And what do you think's special about our Bernese brand of music making?
I think there's certainly a difference between like the new music that happens in the United States compared with what happens in Europe and also in Switzerland, aesthetically and perhaps the way things are presented. So for me, it's a real treat to be able to sort of have this sort of exchange and bring that to my sort of home place, Northern California, and be able to present that. I would say some of the pieces that we'll bring, especially for the Center for New Music, is not something that you would generally hear often or perhaps ever in Northern California. So I find that very special, and yeah.
À Stanford.
Nous marchons voilà, sur l'allée Palm Beach vers notre lieu de répétition et de concert. C'est notre trajet désormais quotidien et somme toute très agréable.
Nous allons passer devant l'école
de loi.
De la... Comment on dit l'école de loi? La faculté de
droit.
De droit. La faculté de droit.
Voilà, law school.
Pour aller à notre général.
Je pense que c'est interdit en vélo. On marche tous les jours. Voilà.
On est moins bonne que Richie quand même. Hein.
Oui.
Il va falloir qu'il coupe.
Voilà un peu d'architecture moderne à Stanford. On voit pas plus que ça. Maintenant notre jardin préféré. Voilà.
Oh, c'est beau. Jardin suspendu.
Et à droite, il y a un très bon resto thaï. Je recommande. Voilà, c'est ça. Ça prend encore 10 minutes jusqu'on arrive au lac. On va vous les épargner. Mais on arrête ici. Merci.
This is just for Julie. I just showed this to Julie. She might like it.
Maybe.
Yeah, but you can just keep it anyway.
Oh, you think?
Well, just in case. Well, I just don't want it to get.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, just preserve it for you.
C'est pas mal.
Hey, guys. We have to move the piano in here. So is there a way that we could?
We could recording session then.
Yes, and just.
If you wake up late after a recording session.
I'm not sure where. I mean, this needs to go away because it was sure.
Good morning. This is day 7 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast Tour. Hey.
She's no, she won't do anything.
Yeah, it's
She's
okay.
Just...
Oh. Hoi zusammen, jetzt ist es die Mittagspause und wir sind auf dem Weg zum Resti. Ich habe gedacht, ich nehme die Gelegenheit, meine Kollegin Vera Schneider zu fragen, ob es gewisse Unterschiede oder Ähnlichkeiten zwischen Protonwerk und der Stanford Residency gibt. Vera ist bekanntlicherweise die Initiantin von Protonwerk und ich habe gedacht, sie hat bestimmt eine Meinung dazu. Vera, was sagst du dazu?
Protonwerk ist in dem Sinne ein Format, das sich an junge Komponisten richtet und wo auf eine andere Form Mitarbeit von den Musikern verlangt. Also, dass man viel mehr Feedback gibt, dass man viel mehr Sachen hat, die noch nicht ganz funktionieren, rein spieltechnisch. In dem Sinne ist es sehr ähnlich. Das Format Protonwerk ist aber immer auf ungefähr ein Jahr aus angelegt. Also man trifft sich, man macht einen Workshop, dann ist man per E-Mail in Kontakt. Und erst dann kommt die eigentliche Probephase und das Konzert. Das heisst, was wir jetzt so gemacht haben, die 5 Tage, ist sehr eine kondensierte Form im Vergleich zu was wir mit Proton-Werken machen.
Das stimmt.
Und, genau, bei Proton-Werken habe ich den Eindruck, ist so der Approach vom das Instrument anlegen noch grösser, als was in so einer Residenz möglich ist.
Aha, ja, okay.
Aber genau, es war natürlich sehr ähnlich. Das.
Okay, ja. Und in Bezug auf die Harfe, hast du bestimmte Sachen hier erfahren, die wirklich so One-Off sind, also etwas wirklich Neues ist? Oder,
Ich habe das Gefühl, sie sind mit der Harfe hier in Stanford nicht allzu vertraut.
Okay.
Es war auch nicht ganz einfach, ein Instrument zu finden, überhaupt.
Aha, ja.
Und sie sind alle sehr konservativ und sehr sparsam geblieben. Und alles war relativ gut machbar. Sie haben sehr dünn geschrieben, mehr als Triangel und ein bisschen Kratzen.
Okay.
Das ist in dem Sinne nicht vorgekommen.
Ja.
So, also, es wäre vielleicht noch ausbaubar im Rahmen von einer längeren Residenz oder so.
Aha, okay. Ja. Also der Harfe ist sozusagen ganz sicher das Instrument von der neuen Musik für die Zukunft.
Ich hoffe es.
Gut. Kommt der Tiefe?
Ich glaube es nicht.
Puh. Also, jetzt haben wir die Stanford Residency abgeschlossen. Wir haben gerade einen ganzen Tag die 6 Stück aufgenommen und jetzt sind wir ready zum Party machen.
Alles in der Kiste.
Ja. Und was machen wir heute Abend?
Wir gehen, wir gehen
Kaffee.
mit allen essen im Café.
Nein.
Kafelia.
Kalanthia.
Kalafia, jetzt.
Das klingt griechisch.
Kalafia, ja.
Ja.
Könnte ja sein.
Ja.
Ja. Wir haben da sehr gut gegessen da. Von Burmesisch über
bis Kubanisch,
Ja, Kubanisch.
Mexikanisch, Burger, Amerikanisch.
Warum nicht mal Griechisch?
Ja, genau. Genau. Morgen geht es auf Berkeley. Also das ist eine Stadt im Bay Area, also gerade gegenüber von San Francisco. Und schon morgen fangen wir mit der nächsten Probe an.
Ja, 4 Komponisten von der UC Berkeley für unser nächstes Konzert, das am Mittwoch ist.
Oh Gott.
Oh Gott.
Wir haben schon ziemlich viel vor, gell?
Aber es macht Spaß.
Genau, es Fakt.
This is video diary for day 6. We spend a lot of day 8. We don't know. We spend a hell lot of energy doing the recording sessions, so now we had to get a real treat. Julie, what did you choose? A docent, it's like donut and
croissant.
Croissant with ice cream, with a great topping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almond topping.
It looks more conservative here, Elise. Yeah. Great. So, if you ever need a place to go after 9 p.m. in Palo Alto, that's the place to be.
Quelque chose. Bah, dis quelque chose. Alors, nous sommes notre première matinée libre. Et nous profitons de nos derniers moments à Stanford. pour faire une petite balade matinale. Alors, Vera, où sommes-nous?
Bei der Dish, wir laufen jetzt da diesen großen Trail, wo wir leider nicht die Einzigen sind. Auf der Suche nach Berglöwen.
Wir suchen nach Berglöwen. En français, comment ça s'appelle en français? Des cougars.
C'est ça.
Ces espèces de grands chats. Mais à mon avis, avec tout ce monde, il y a peu de chances que nous en voyions.
On risque de croiser des cougars, cela dit. Je crois qu'il est temps d'arrêter.
This is day 8 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast Tour. We are now in Berkeley, California, and it's severely different to Palo Alto, that's for sure. We're about to go to rehearsal and meet the composers that we're working with here. So we're very excited about that. Durch Alcatraz da hängen. Gefängnisinsel.
Das ist Alcatraz.
Ja.
That's Alcatraz.
Das schwul ist nicht. Vergleich mit dem Prison, ja. Ich dachte, das sei so nicht weit. Nee, es ist ja, ganz klar.
Guten Morgen, heute ist der 9. Tag von Ensemble Proton Band's West Coast Tour. Wir sind hier an der University of California, Berkeley. Und es schifft ein bisschen. Seit gestern schifft es nur noch. Also hier ist das Wetter vielleicht auch ein bisschen anders als in Palo Alto. Es läuft gut, wir haben 4 Kompositionen von den Studenten bekommen. Und sie sind mega spannend und wir tun sie heute noch weiter proben und morgen ist das Konzert.
Hey guys, girls!
This is Proton Day 9,
10, possibly.
We cannot count it anymore, so...
Well, we're in Berkeley now. We're in the East Bay.
We arrived yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Behind us, San Francisco.
Yep, there you go. City San Francisco.
We go in 2 days. We play there.
We've got the Golden Gate over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
It's actually pretty windy and now a bit cold, but it was a wonderful drive through San Francisco to get here. Yeah. And we started to rehearse all the 4 pieces which we play, the new ones. Yeah. And tomorrow general and then the concert at Berkeley University.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a total different spirit here than in Stanford. But actually cool, huh?
Very, very cool. We have a nice little place. Yeah, no, everything's going well.
This reminds me of Sea of Ferns.
Yes, one of the pieces.
Jeremy's piece. Exactly. It's very nice. microtonal synthesizer or sampler that he programmed, and the rest of the pieces, the three others, are like pretty heavy energy, huh?
Yeah.
Saturized sounds all over.
Exactly.
So we will rock the place.
Yep. All right.
So, see you later,
See
guys.
you later.
Bye.
Ciao for now.
Hey everybody, this is day 10 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast tour. We're at UC Berkeley, as you have probably figured out by now, and tonight's the concert. We're doing 4 world premieres of compositions by students here at UC Berkeley, and another world premiere by Swiss composer Dominik Scharford. He lives in LA and teaches at Chapman University, and he's quite a good friend of the ensemble. And we'll also be playing the piece Reise by Hans-Peter Kieburtz, also a Swiss composer. I'm on my way to get a UC Berkeley t-shirt and grab something to eat, and we'll have some composer interviews for you later on. In Orgel? Wow. Ja, das wollte ich dann mal hören. So schön. Okay, here we are at UC Berkeley. The concert hall where we'll be doing the performance tonight. 4 world premieres by Oren Brunet, James Stone, Jeremy Wexler, and Selim Gönku. I'm here with James Stone, and we're going to have a little chat. So James, your piece Bug in the Carburetor. Where did you get the idea about the bugs?
You know, it's a good question. I had this, I had a compositional motive, which was to stretch myself a little bit compositionally beyond the techniques that I'm used to. I tend to write fairly conservatively, pitch-based music. And so I wanted to use some sounds that are a little less pitch-focused, and as a result I started to think about clangs and more jagged things, and I started to think about things not totally working. I also wanted to write a piece that was energetic but often used kind of small sounds, quiet but quite dynamic. And so I had this image of a bug, literally a bug, flying into an engine and getting caught up and breaking everything. And from then I thought, oh, I'll name the piece Bug in the Carburetor, and then it became a little bit more just a carburetor's not working. But that was the genesis of the piece.
So I have characters in my piece that I like. I often have these kind of sound characters. So one of them is, maybe you can imagine, is this, and it's this always high-low kind of thing. You know, it's supposed to be kind of silly character. And then I thought about it because I title my pieces after I write them.
Okay.
And so I thought about it, and to me it sounded like something stuck. It was just like, you know, okay, it's like trying to say something, but always stuttering and always stuck. So I just, okay, I'm stuck in a rut.
Right. Okay.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
And I guess
and if I said in a rut as a title, it's too obvious to me.
For sure.
You know, so I just rut and leave it to somebody else to decide.
For sure, and it raises a lot of questions.
Sure. Yeah. Apparently more than I thought. Yeah.
Well, indeed. Certainly, from my point of view, from the bass clarinet part, all of the scalic figures, which all are always coming back to the same point, and beginning again and again from the same point. It's almost as if you can't get out of this pattern.
Yeah.
Which also is stuck in a rut.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I was interested to know, are underwater plants your inspiration for this piece, or am I taking your title too literally?
Well, it's very general. I'm fascinated by the geometry of plants. And I can pretty much leave it at that. It doesn't go into the intricate details of specific plants or anything like that, but it is something that I find interesting.
Should I understand that as the kind of the vein structures within leaves, or
and colours,
and the colours and the shapes of the leaves, etc. Their dispersion on the branch. Okay, yeah, that's a very beautiful image. But are these underwater plants more so, or?
Not really. It came from looking at my friend's backyard once.
Okay.
The title really comes from a conversation that I had with my friends, not from any sort of poetic source or something like this. I just observed one day that his backyard had thousands of ferns, and I said it was like a sea of ferns. And then someone pointed it out, and I liked it, and then I decided to make a piece out of it, and it's dedicated to them.
I'm drawn to programmatic music, in part because I do a lot of storytelling outside of music as well. So I spent some time in Los Angeles doing television writing, and I have always done both at the same time. I used to direct films, I've scored films and still do. I also studied composition at Chicago with Augusta Reed Thomas mainly. So I also come from a background as a pianist, and actor occasionally.
Right.
So
okay.
there's very much a film background.
So there's a whole kind of there's a whole theatre happening in your music.
Ideally, yeah. I'm actually trying, maybe in future pieces, to make that more explicit. To have
Yeah, I'm a trumpet player.
Okay.
So I started as that at a youngish age, 9, 10 kind of thing. And then I started composing at age 14 out of jealousy. Little story there, but yeah, I was jealous of somebody who composed, and I said, I can compose too. Okay. And then became a composer because, yeah, I wasn't not a good trumpet player, so I became a composer. Something like that. And now I've been composing since then. Yeah, that's it. But I still play. I play my own pieces and improvise.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good way to keep the compositional juices flowing.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I compose on the trumpet.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Were there any particular musical experiences whilst playing the trumpet that really shaped the way you compose?
At the moment, I would say no. I think it's just musical influences. Yeah, I think that's it. I always say no.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So are you a fairly wide listener?
No. I'm a pretty narrow listener, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I only listen to a very small amount of music, actually.
And what might that be?
I mean, I actually grew up with my mother playing me classical music all the time. So in that sense, I felt like I grew up listening to just classical things all the time. But I mean, of course, I listened to Eminem as a kid.
Yep.
I listened to a lot of rap. And then I like things that were fast, that's all.
Okay.
So I mean, even if I had a concerto, Vivaldi or something, I would always leave out on my playlist the slow movements.
Yep.
So I just leave them. Now I love slow movements now. I don't write slow music. I leave them out. And so I always like fast music. And I love Stravinsky. I really always connected with Stravinsky. But then I always connected with Avishai Cohen, the bassist, and things like that. Folk music. I love folk music from different places.
I listen to a lot of electronic music. It's actually some of my favorite music. It always has been growing up. I'm very influenced by, specifically, if I could go there, like early 2000s IDM and ambient music and stuff like that. Things like Boards of Canada and Aphex Twin and stuff. I can't explain why I'm so drawn to it. just kind of am. And yeah, but it also, the tones and the microtonality comes from my background as a drummer too. My view is that drumming is a kind of instrument that's very physical, very visceral, and also timbral. It's not pitched. And I'm obsessed with drawing timbres out of non-pitched percussion instruments and incorporating them into acoustic contexts.
Schönen guten Morgen vom verregneten Berkeley. Hier regnet es immer noch. Berkeley ist an sich eine sehr schöne Stadt. Wir haben einfach die nasse Jahreszeit erwischt. Also, das Konzert gestern war super. Alle waren glücklich, so viel ich weiß. Und heute fahren wir nach San Francisco. Dort spielen wir im Center for New Music. Das ist eine der Veranstaltungsorte für neue Musik in San Francisco. Davon gibt es, soviel ich weiß, nicht viele. Dort spielen wir auch ein sehr gemischtes Programm und kein einzigem Stück in voller Besetzung, weil die Bühne zu klein ist für uns. Selim, deine Wurzeln sind in der Türkei, gell?
Ja, quasi die Hälfte.
Die Hälfte, okay.
Ja, ja.
Was kommt noch dazu?
Meine Mutter kommt aus Griechenland und mein Vater ist halb armenisch.
Okay, super.
Ja, also.
Okay. Und bist du dort aufgewachsen?
Ich bin in Istanbul aufgewachsen.
In Istanbul,
ja,
okay.
Ja,
ja die Stadt zwischen den Kontinenten, könnte man so sagen.
Ja.
Prägt deine Erziehung oder das Aufwachsen dort deine Musik auf eine bestimmte Art und Weise?
Ist eine schwierige Frage für mich.
Okay.
Ich war nie jemand, der so inklinierte, so eine nationalistische Neigung hat. Das ist sowieso nie der Fall. Also das hat auch mit meiner Familie selbstverständlich zu tun. Aber ich denke, meine Mutter hat immer Klavier gespielt. Und mein Vater hatte so eine Schallplattenkollektion. Er hatte nur ein Schönberg-Berg-Webern-Platte. Und nur einmal angehört worden ist, weißt du, nur nie mehr. Weißt du? Du hast gesagt, ja, das ist irgendwie. Weißt du? Aber ich weiß nicht, ob es eine direkte Antwort ist.
Ja, das ist sowieso eine sehr schwierige Frage. Ja. Ich kann mir aber vorstellen, dass dein Studium unter anderem in Graz dich sehr, sehr geprägt hat. Und also dort hast du wahrscheinlich auch Deutsch gelernt.
Nein, ich habe Deutsch gelernt, als ich 12 war eigentlich.
Ah, ehrlich?
Ja. Aber Graz hat wirklich mein Studium geprägt. Mein Lehrer Clemens Gardenstädter da, er war ein Lehrer, der so hilfreich war, aber auch sehr kritisch war. Er war immer so, du weißt, was gut in deiner Musik ist, und lass uns jetzt über die Sachen reden, die nicht so gut klappen.
Alles klar.
Und da hatten wir irgendwie die Gelegenheit, mit Menschen zu arbeiten, die Das ist irgendwie, heißt auf Englisch Performance Practice for Contemporary Music. Da gab es Instrumentalisten, die Meisterstudien gemacht haben und die sich auf neue Musik spezialisiert haben. Und da hatten wir irgendwie die Gelegenheit gehabt, irgendwie so irgendwie knocken und sagen, hey, ich habe sowas auf dem Cello und können wir es probieren. Das hat wirklich sehr geholfen.
Das ist ja Gold wert. Ja. Das ist das Studium geleitet vom Klangforum Wien, gell?
Gerade, ja.
Alles klar. Ja. Super Sache. Und dein Stück heißt Wiederklang.
Ja.
Ist das eine Art Hall oder das Zurückkehren vom Klang oder wie soll man das verstehen?
Eigentlich, dieses Stück ist ein Schwesterstück von einem anderen Stück, das heißt Wiederklang ohne E. So heißt Wiederklang, wie Wiedersinn, in so freudigen Sinn sozusagen. Ja? Hier ist das, was mich geprägt hat, dass ich früher in so einem Progressive Rock und Metal Bands gespielt habe, als Keyboard-Spieler.
Ach so,
ja?
schön.
Und was mich auch interessiert, ist zum Beispiel Geige und Cello zum Beispiel mit Distortion zu verzerren, aber das nicht so irgendwie elegant, maxisch zu machen, sondern mit Pedals und mit primitiveren Sachen, dass es irgendwie es ist keine Rockmusik sozusagen, das ist mir klar, es ist so irgendwie ein bisschen primitives, dass es nicht so ein elegant hochnäsisches Gefühl hat, sondern irgendwie quasi direkt ist. Deswegen ist es so Wiederkehren von diesem Stück.
Alles klar. Ja. In deinem Stück gibt es also gewaltige Extreme, von wirklich extrem laut bis extrem leise. Das gefällt mir sehr gut. Ja, ich glaube, ich habe keine
weitere Frage. Sollte ich dich interviewen?
Ja, also niemand interviewt mich, das ist so schade. Nein, aber das wäre es gewesen. Danke dir.
Ja, mein Vergnügen, ich freue mich drauf.
Ja, ich freue mich auch drauf. It's time to take the train. This is day 12 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast tour. We're here in San Francisco. It's our first day without any rehearsals or concerts, and we're in the train thing on our way to brunch on the Pacific coast of San Francisco, and then we're heading to Seattle later tonight.
We're looking for a cello player. We're flying to Seattle today, and we lost our cellist. Can you help us? Yes, maybe. By chance, I play cello as well. Oh, cool. But what's the badge? I mean, I could play. It's new music. Oh. Who exactly? Dominic Schafer, Andreas Eduardo Frank, Donald Stewart. Okay. Have you heard of those people? Yeah. The question is how much will I get? What's the fee?
So we waited about 5 minutes and now the rain has passed on and we've got some blue sky happening here at the Pacific Ocean. Good morning. This is the 12th day of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast tour, and we're in Seattle. This is day 14 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast tour, and I'm making pancakes again.
America. God damn.
welcome to day 15 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast Tour. Let's have a look what everyone did today. Howdy, this is day 16 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast Tour. The Red Cedar. This is
Day
18 of
the
Ensemble
Proton Bern
West Coast
Tour.
Yeah.
That's very beautiful. That's really beautiful. So beautiful.
Down before they put the concrete floor in, they found a Native American woman in beads, the whole thing, and so they brought in Native American elders, Chumash and Selenian, basically checked her out, made sure it wasn't a mass grave site, because the village site was over there. It was probably where they kind of buried them out of the town, kind of thing. So they call it a prince. The sign is actually original from back in the day too. There's silver dollar, epoxied on, 2009 silver dollar. That's when the bridge was completed. You can say, yeah, you can age this 5 to 20 years, by doing phenolics, because you're looking at your anthocyanins, which is the color in the skin, and you're looking at tannic structure. Barrels in here, we're going to put on humidity to keep the barrels taut and swollen so they don't crack or warp. And then if we're doing secondary fermentation, such as malolactic, where you're going from a malic acid to a lactic acid. Cooperage. A place that makes a barrel is a cooperage. A person that makes a barrel is a cooper. And they all are a little bit different and they don't communicate real well with each other. So this one right here, medium toast. That might be really similar to this Cooper's medium toast plus. Sometimes they have medium toast with toasted heads. So that's the firing on the inside, the charring. This is a sustainability stamp. This wood was sustainable. Really cool. There's a few fossils I'm going to show you guys. There's one right here. Some bones sticking right out of the edge of the rock right there.
Like, oh no!
And then all along the edges, there's fossils. Like, if you just walk along, there's a fish. But there's a few over here that I want to show you that are really neat.
Martin kämpft. Die rote. Wow, der zieht ordentlich, oder? Wow. Ja, das ist schöner. Ah, das ist zu viel.
Also alles, was rechts ist.
Ist schwierig. Geht so abpassen.
Ja,
Fisch. Ja, gut.
Oh, Kleine.
Ja, das ist der Beste.
Trink mal.
Good.
This is day 19 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast Tour, and we're at the beach. Hey everybody at home.
It's day 2. I mean, day 37. No.
We're looking forward to playing in Monterey.
We're just enjoying the beach and the seals. All baby seals.
So we're moving, but it's not a car, it's a train.
So did you like the Pacific?
Yes.
How was it?
Beautiful landscapes.
G'day, this is day 20 of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast Tour, and somehow I just don't think it gets more American than this. This is where we're doing our concert tonight. It's a barn with lots of pretty lights, and there's going to be lots of people drinking wine. We're pretty excited.
Gehen wir Garlic shoppen?
this is the 21st day of the Ensemble Proton Bern West Coast Tour.
Ja, das ist der 21. Tag.
Von was?
Tour. Ja, von Proton Tour.
Aha, und
West
Alice?
Coast.
C'est le 21e jour de la tournée de l'ensemble Proton.
Super.
Sur la
Und-
côte ouest.
Aha. Und was haben wir alles erlebt?
Viel.
Plein de choses.
Viel Musik, gell?
Ja.
Ja.
Ich würde sagen, sehr viele Töne sind.
Gelaufen oder was heisst das?
Über.
Ja. Ja. Und was hast du alles gespielt, Alice?
Viele Töne. Ganz viele.
Low Notes.
Low Notes, High Notes, wie noch nie.
Aha, ja. Ich glaube auch.
Machen wir wieder, oder?
Auf jeden Fall.
Ja, auf jeden Fall.
Ja, ich finde auch. We should do it again. We should do it again.
Ja.
Ja.
Wie hast du es so gefunden? So?
Ja, hast du cool gefunden?
Ja.
Ja. Als Reisemanager ist es schon manchmal ein bisschen stressig gewesen. One flight was cancelled. We had to like redo everything like on the fly in one day. It was totally stressful. Thank you very much, United Airlines.
Wir haben mehr Zeit gehabt, um Dungeons Crab verdauen.
Genau.
Auch gut gewesen.
Ja, genau. Aber wir haben eindeutig weniger Zeit zum Weinsaufen gehabt.
Ja, das war ein bisschen blöd gewesen, ja.
Ja.
Highway
101 verpasst.
101?
Danke United Airlines.
Ja, super, gell? Ja. Ja. Aber trotzdem haben wir es geschafft, am Strand zu sein.
Ja.
Ein bisschen.
Ja.
Also nur ein bisschen.
Die Fische.
Ah ja, genau, die hat Fische.
Ja, ja.
Schön.
Und das Konzert in der Bern.
Die American Barn.
American Bern. Das hat ziemlich gezogen, ja?
Ja. Ja. Alice, deine Multiphonics haben sehr schön geklungen in dieser Bahn.
Ja, danke.
Gerne. Es war auch ein bisschen kalt. Aber
Ja, ein bisschen Durchzug.
wenn wir wiederkommen, dann ist es ja Frühling oder Sommer oder Frühherbst. Und dann wird es anders. Okay.
Also, schon noch groß.
Mega.
Ja.
Ja,
aber
mega groß. Ja.
Ja.
Schon noch. Ich würde sagen, wir kommen nochmal.
Ja.
Ja.
Gerne.
Und das nächste Mal machen wir es besser und anders und mit noch mehr Musik. Gau. Also, das ist der Abschluss vom Ensemble Proton Berns Video Diary oder Vlog. Ich hoffe, ihr habt Spass gehabt beim Schauen und Hören und Lachen.
Beep, 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 beep.
And stay tuned, perhaps there's going to be one in the future. So stay cool, stay Proton.